Disclaimer: I'm using my voice recorder in my cell phone because I'm doing this in my room in the middle of the night. I couldn't really use the computer with my audio program because I just felt I have to do this now while my thoughts are still fresh in my head. So apologize if I sound crappy with this audio recorder in my cell phone. Next time I'll don't worry about next time. I'm gonna go back again to using my audio program. It's just this particular one, especially this vlog. I just felt like I have to do this because if I don't do it, I'm just gonna put it off, so then I'll forget it. So, but I wanna give my opinion about this. I wanna, let's just say, take it off my chest. So again, if it sounds crappy, I apologize because I'm using my video recorder, my cell phone. So with that, enjoy the vlog. Hello guys, Axel once again. Just doing another vlog. But before that, I want to give you an update of what's going on in my channel. And the first thing is, again, I'm going to have to do this like always. I apologize for the lack of video game showcase again. I mean, the last time I did this was 2 weeks ago with King of Dragons. I can't, is that, like I said, I want to apologize in advance for this. That sometimes I can't really do this like in a weekly, daily, or even weekly basis. Let's just say sometimes I got other things to do, so I do apologize for that. But don't worry that this week there will be two Megamix game showcase, and also on Tuesday, April the 1st, wink wink, there will be also, let's just say, special Megamix game showcase. So again, don't worry about it. There will be two new ones coming this week and a special one next week. Alright, so with that, what am I going to talk about this time? What is this vlog or e-blog, we should call it? What's it about? So the first one I want to talk about is joystick versus gamepad, or let's just say fighting stick versus fighting pad. So basically, sort of related to fighting games. So why am I talking about this? First of all, I like fighting games, but I don't really play them in like some sort of in a competition or trying to be like who the best fighter is. Me, I just play fighting game casually, just to enjoy, play it for a while, and then done. That's basically how I play fighting games. I do like fighting games, but I really don't take them seriously, so I don't really take practice, trying to do advanced move, such as those people in Evo. I'm not even close to that. So, I just want to get out of that way. So, again, why am I talking about fighting stick versus fighting pad? Because some of my friends, again, they're getting back to Street Fighter because, of course, Ultra Street Fighter 4 coming this June. So some of my friends, they were playing Street Fighter 4, and then we got in a discussion: what is better, a fighting stick or a fighting pad? And some of them, they have different opinion, but this is going to be my opinion, my thoughts on fighting stick versus fighting pad, and which one for me is best. So here we go. So, because I use both of them because I remember in the 90s, before there was PS2, before Xbox Live, before video game really became a norm on online. Video game online in the 90s were, let's just say, rare. So sometimes in order to play certain games or some fancy games, let's just say, you gotta go to the arcades. Yes, the arcades. Very big in the 90s. And for people who don't know, because you were born, let's just say, you're the latest generation, is they're sort of an alternative for video game. They're more powerful, graphics so beautiful, and a lot of people were interested. That's what an arcade is. Compared to a, let's just say, if you know a Super Nintendo or a Genesis, yeah, they got good graphics. They're 16-bit, but compared that to an arcade graphic, much more beautiful. But now these days, it's different. It's about 3D, fancy, movie, cutscene, 1080p, but that's going to be a different story. But this one, I'm just going to talk about what I did during the 90s. How did I entertain myself with video games? So in the 90s, of course, I had a Super Nintendo, and I think I also, mid 90s, I have a PlayStation 1. They're good system at its time, 3D, but it's still the polygons for the PS1. They were, let's just say, blockish, and Super Nintendo. Well, you still really can't compare some with the arcade. And of course, some of the games never been in the home console, such as, well, let's see, if I can remember. At the time, if I remember, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, well, that came in late, but Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter 3, and the fighting game Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, mostly fighting games. So I can't play it on my Super Nintendo, and sure heck, it wasn't even a PlayStation until 2000, but still in the 90s. Street Fighter Alpha, I think, came in like 90, while the arcade version was already at 96. So arcade was sort of big in the 90s, but nowadays, of course, not. Again, different story. This is about the 90s. So sometimes I have no choice. If I want to play the game, I gotta get used to the arcades. Gotta use the joystick. Gotta use the 6-button layout. And then, so I tried it. I wasn't really good at it. I tried so hard. And then I remember when Street Fighter 2 was on the Super Nintendo. Well, I didn't have the Super Advantage, so I had my trusty Super Nintendo gamepad. So then I had this weird layout. And the thing is, I guess maybe I'm weird for me, but I had this weird layout. Like, I would put all my light attacks on the top button, the L and R, and then the mediums on Y and X, and then of course the heavy attacks, B and A. Normally, my lights on top, the medium attacks are in the middle, and my heavy's in the bottom. Like a vertical setup. It's just me. Why? I have no idea. I started that way, the setup, and every time I would play a fighting game, I'm always have the setup, and I just got used to it. So that, unfortunately, that's kind of hard to transition it to the arcade, or especially a fighting stick or the joystick, because then it's different. Because from light to heavy, you start from left to right. As for me, or my weird style is my lights in the top all the way heavy to the bottom. And sadly, I never really readjust myself, because every time I play fighting games at home, I always have that weird setup I always do. Same goes with the PlayStation controller. So I got used to it, but I'm still able to do the joystick once in a while. Like I remember when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was on the arcade, they're watching it on a home console until later on, and it was still at the right. I mean, I'm able to do it, but I can't pull up a lot of the good moves versus when I can do it in the gamepad with my setup. So then I just made the conclusion that I actually feel more comfortable for me using a gamepad rather than a fighting stick. Why? Well, I guess I got used to it more than versus using the joystick configuration. Because like I said, I guess I played more on the gamepad at home versus going to arcade. I can't always go to an arcade every day, especially when you're going to school. So my thoughts are that for me, I'm just better or more comfortable, I should say, using a gamepad versus a fighting stick. I know for a fact most fighting game fanatic will say is that they can't play the game with a gamepad. I know the majority of them that they have to play with a fight stick, and that's what it is. That's fine. But just for me, my personal opinion is I just like a gamepad more than a fighting stick. Because just recently, my friend bought a fighting stick and he made me try it out, and I did try it, and oh boy, I was horrible. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't pull any moves. I just didn't really feel comfortable. I mean, I have fighting games on my PS3, and yeah, it was just, wow, I can't even do anything. Like, this is so weird. And then I tried, and I went back to my PlayStation 3 controller with my own setup. Yeah, did I do better? So, for me personally, I do like the gamepad. I guess because I'm a console gamer, or I'm just used to playing with a Nintendo controller, and because the Sony controller was sort of looked like the Nintendo controller or the Super Nintendo, but that's a different story. So, in conclusion, really for me, is that my personal opinion, I like playing fighting games with a gamepad than a fighting stick, because I think I lost my touch. I used to able to hold my own with a fighting stick or the joystick in the arcade. But because since it's been so long that I've been going to the arcade, like I hardly even go to the arcade now since PS3 came out, I just stick with the gamepad, with my PlayStation controller, the DualShock 3. So, like I said, just for me, I just feel more comfortable with the gamepad. So, that's my personal opinion about it. So, oh, memories. Going to the arcade, fighting stick, gamepad. Yeah, but another question probably going to ask is, but should it be better to use a fighting stick? Well, that's actually hard to answer. But there is a suggestion, and I'm going to put it on the description box, is Mouse923. He had a video basically called, do you get better with a fighting stick? Do you get better? Well, if you really practice, maybe. But like for some people, like for me, I did try to go back with using a fighting stick to playing games. It didn't work for me. My buttons get confusing because I'm already used to my own layout. So for me, fighting stick is not really good for me, so it doesn't really work. But perhaps for someone else, it could. But again, it's really up to you. It's just the trick is you gotta feel it. You gotta feel comfortable. Let instinct kick in. Let it react to what you do. Don't think about it. Just feel it. Make it comfortable, and feel the flow. That's all I can say. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. So, again, in the end, for me personally, I just prefer playing fighting games with a gamepad with my special layout buttons than the fight stick.